The Mavericks look to get some revenge against Zion Williamson and the New Orleans Pelicans in game number 3 of NBA Cup play. We'll get you ready for tonight's action coming up next on the DLLS Mavs pregame show. Welcome to the DLLS Mavs pregame show powered by Michelob Ultra. Cheer on your team with Michelob Ultra at 2.6 carbs and 95 calories. It's a superior smooth taste worth playing for. Michelob Ultra, official beer sponsor of the NBA. Kevin Gray alongside our DLLS Mavs analyst Bobby Carella. We are DLLS Mavs, your favorite guys, coming your favorite team during NBA Cup play tonight as the Dallas Mavericks host the New Orleans Pelicans for the second time in what is 16 days. This time, though, in NBA Cup action as both the Mavericks and Pelicans look for their first win of the Emirates NBA Cup group play stage. We'll get you ready for tonight's game with who's in, who's out. We'll go behind enemy lines with with Pelicans forward, Trey Murphy III, and we'll let you know.
Was that a little Freudian slip?
It was.
Everyone that watches the show knows how I feel about Trey Murphy.
Yeah, and we know how you feel about Trey Murphy III. You'll get a lot of action with him tonight as you watch him on the floor. And we will be joined by our DLLS Mavs beat writer Ron Herrod Jr. live from the American Airlines Center on this fantastic Friday. Bobby Carella, how we feeling?
I'm feeling pretty good.
Excuse me, Fresh Cut Friday.
Oh, that's right.
For our guy Bobby Carella. Excuse me.
Yeah, that's right. My guy Rhino got me set up again. But I'm feeling good. I feel like this is if you're a Mavs should try and win at all costs kind of fan, this is the weekend for you.
This is your weekend.
Right? Alternatively, if you are holding out hope for ping pong balls, this could really be the weekend for you. So I feel like no matter what, someone is going to feel really happy after tonight's game and after tomorrow night's game.
Tip-off at 7:30 p.m. tonight at the AAC as the Dallas Mavericks look to get their first win on this 3-game homestand. The game, if you're going to be watching, will be on WFAA Channel 8 and KFAA Channel 29 as well, with NBA West Group B play tonight as far as the NBA Cup is concerned. Pelicans versus Mavericks. The Pelicans come into tonight 2-13 on the season, 1-6 away from Smoothie King Center in New Orleans. Meanwhile, the Dallas Mavericks 4-12, 3-8 so far at the AAC, with the Mavericks being a 3.5-point favorite tonight with the over-under at 233.5. Let's get you up to date on where both of these teams are coming into tonight's game. Of course, we start with the home team and your Dallas Mavericks. As we mentioned, 4-12, 13th in the Western Conference right now, sitting 2 games behind the Jazz for the 10th seed if you want them to get to the play-in and the postseason. After coming out their second straight loss and what was a heartbreaker on Wednesday night to Jalen Brunson and the New York Knicks, 113-111 to drop to 2-8 in their last 10 games overall. Meanwhile, Dallas just 1-8 against the Western Conference so far this year with their lone win coming against the Portland Trailblazers. Dallas will finish up their 3-game homestand with, of course, the Pelicans tonight. Then they welcome in the Memphis Grizzlies tomorrow night on the second night of a back-to-back. Second back-to-back this week for Dallas, as they will be home for these two tonight and tomorrow before they go on the road starting on Monday when they take on Tyler Hero, potentially, and the Miami Heat. So far, the Mavericks 0-2 in Cup play after losses to both the Clippers and the Grizzlies. Meanwhile, Pelicans 2-13 on the year, come in dead last in the Western Conference as they sit 3.5 games behind the Jazz for the 10th seed in the West. They're coming into tonight's game having lost 7 straight games, including on Wednesday when they lost at home in a competitive game to the Denver Nuggets in what was a 125-118 loss to finish their 5-game homestand. Check this out, 0-5 on that 5-game homestand for the Pelicans. They are 1-12 against the Western Conference so far this year. They're also looking for their first win in NBA Cup play in West Group B. They are also on the first night of a back-to-back. They're in Dallas tonight. Then they'll be back home tomorrow night as they take on Kristaps Porzingis and the Atlanta Hawks. That gets you the lay of the land of both these teams coming into tonight's game, which gets us to the Carella Strader scouting report on what he's looking for in tonight's matchup.
Life is it's all about motivation, right? Achievements are fueled by motivation or desire. I feel like tonight the Mavs might have some extra motivation because you just ran down some Pelican stats. They're alarmingly bad. They have not won since about 2 weeks ago, Kevin. Who was it that they beat? Do you remember?
I do remember, actually.
It was the Mavs.
It was the Mavericks.
In this building.
That's right.
I was doing a watch-along right over there, and I could not believe my eyes. Zion did not play that game yet. The Mavs still lost. That was a very bleak performance and experience for me, and I think for all of us. Now, motivation alone is not going to be enough to put the Mavs over the hump tonight because Zion is back, and with Zion, the Pelicans are a markedly better team. This season with him off the floor, 106.5 defensive rating. Sorry, offensive rating. 106.5 offensive rating.
That defensive rating.
123.5 defensive rating, and the Pelicans as a team are shooting 32.3% from three. With Zion on the floor, though, with Zion Williams on.
I like what you did there. I like what you did there.
115.9 offensive rating, so still not great, but much better. 118.6 defensive rating, much better, and 38.5% from three. And that one makes sense because, okay, Zion is going to the rim. It creates a vortex. Everyone's got to collapse in the paint, and then guys are open from three. They're way better with him on the floor this year. Against the Nuggets the other night, the Pelicans lost that game by 7, but Zion was plus 14. In 30 minutes, they got outscored by 21 points whenever he was on the bench. So like more than a point a minute whenever he was out of the game. And that leads to a bit of a matchup concern for me because this year we've seen bigs have huge games against the Mavs.
Yep.
Huge games. Despite all of the Mavs' length and interior presence and all that stuff, centers have just crushed them. Zion isn't really a big, but the Pelicans also have another big that's been having good games lately, Derek Queen. Mm-hmm. The other night against the Nuggets, he went for 30 as a rookie. And so
making Joe Dumars look good.
My question, though, is if the big...
Absolutely not.
That's a Tater chimed into. That's hilarious.
Throughout the kid era, the Mavs have basically put a big on Zion or a wing, but kept a big around the rim, sort of like lurking. Like you think of, this is in the Rick era, but Maxey was that weak side guy that would swoop over and help. I don't know if they could do that tonight unless Coop is really feeling up to that challenge. But my question for you is if they put the big, so if they put Lively or Gafford on Zion, who's on Queen? And if they put the big guy on Queen, well, then who the heck is on Zion? They got two guys that can score around the rim. The Mavs have struggled this season against one guy that can do that. So it's really a difficult situation.
So does that mean PJ gets to see quite a bit of time on Zion? Do you put your best defender on Zion?
I don't know if I want to do that because, I mean, PJ, whenever he gets in foul trouble, it's like doomsday. And I don't know. Your only defense against Zion oftentimes is just wrap him up.
He's a freight train. I mean,
they did well against Giannis for the first like 2.5 quarters of that game.
Sure.
And then you look up at the end of the game and he finished with like 35 or whatever.
Yeah. Fourth quarter, he got going.
It's tough, man. It's really, really tough.
And of course, James Borrego, the interim head coach for the New Orleans Pelicans, I'm sure is happy to have Zion Williamson back. We'll get some more into him here in just a second. The lead story going into tonight's game, both teams, as I mentioned, looking for their first NBA Cup win. Both teams 0-2 coming into tonight's action. Meanwhile, the Dallas Mavericks looking for some revenge against this Pelicans team, which just 16 days ago walked into the American Airlines Center and got a 2-point win. Your man Cooper Flagg, who is back tonight after missing Wednesday's game with illness against the New York Knicks, had a chance to tie the game with 4 seconds left, but his jumper went by the wayside, and the Pelicans stole a win inside the AAC. In fact, their last win was back on November 5th against the Mavericks. They have since lost 7 straight games, dropping to 2-13 on the season. Unfortunately, the Mavericks have been terrible in the clutch so far this year, just 3-9 in clutch games, which unfortunately is the worst mark in the league. If this game is close, the Mavericks have got to find a way to execute better down the stretch. We'll hear from Max Christie later on what he had to say and what the Mavericks have to do to be better in late game situations. The Pelicans, though, led by Zion Williamson, who is back. He came back on Wednesday against the New Orleans Pelicans, played in 29 minutes in that game after missing the previous 8 games of what was a left hamstring strain. So Zion Williamson is good to go. He's averaging over 21 points per game and giving you over 6.5 rebounds per contest. And also fifth-year man Trey Murphy III averaging nearly 20 points per game, giving you 6.5 rebounds per contest and nearly 2 steals per game in 15 games as well. Had a chance to go behind enemy lines today with the fifth-year man out of both Rice and Virginia to get his thoughts on not only on Cooper Flagg, but the matchup going into tonight's game against the Dallas Mavericks, a big, lengthy team that the Pelicans are going to have to deal with. Here's my conversation behind any lines with one Trey Murphy III. Take a listen and watch. Kevin Gray here, DLLS Mavs, going behind enemy lines ahead of tonight's game between the Mavericks and the Pelicans. Here with fifth-year man Trey Murphy III of the New Orleans Pelicans. Trey, appreciate the time, man. Thank you for joining us here. Obviously, you guys have already won in this building before this year. You know a little something about with Cooper Flagg, having with the Team USA Select team ahead of the 2024 Olympics. What have you noticed about the changes in his game and how much he's improved since the time that you played with him during the Team USA?
The biggest thing is also just mindset, like I stated before with Team USA. He's not going in there like he's nervous. He doesn't seem like he's playing nervous at all. He's just playing his game and affecting the game on both sides of the floor.
When you look at this team and this group here, what presents the most problems when you face a team like the Mavericks coming in here?
Probably the size. I mean, they're a big team, and they use that to their advantage on defensive end for sure, especially with the rim protection with Gafford, Live, and then also like the guards with Coop as well.
NBA Cup game number 3 for the Mavericks for you guys tonight. What has the NBA Cup done in terms of the competition and making these regular season games a little bit more meaningful given what's at stake when it comes to these Cup games?
No, it's cool. I mean, my first year Cup was invented. We were in the Final Four, and that was a really great experience. And I just feel like the Cup games have a little bit more excitement to them. And then, they bring out the different jerseys bring out different courts, so it's a pretty cool experience.
What excites you most coming to a place like Dallas to play games when you come through throughout your career?
I have ties in Houston, Texas when I went to Rice, and so just having people that went to Rice that come to the games and then just being close to that area as well, it's pretty cool to always come back here and play.
Last one for you. When you look at the expectations for not only your group going into tonight's game and more, what guys are you going to be thinking about as you face the Mavericks and what they present on a night-to-night basis here?
I mean, with this team, it's just anybody's night. It can be anybody's night, especially because they don't have Kyrie, they don't have AD right now. So right now they're just playing basketball and playing free. It could be Brandon Williams, it could be Coop, it could be Najee. It just depends. So just got to be prepared for everybody.
Trey, appreciate the time, my man. Thank you so much for joining us.
Appreciate you.
Appreciate
future Maverick.
Trey Murphy III.
Maverick.
Appreciate Trey Murphy III, the New Orleans Pelicans, for joining us to go behind enemy lines going into tonight's game. He's been a handful, continues to get better as a player. Didn't have a great game the first time these two teams got together, but Trey Murphy,
he was brutal that night, wasn't he?
He was not great.
My God.
But he's always played well normally against Dallas, but more importantly, he's a guy that can do a lot of different things and somebody that the Mavericks definitely got to watch out for because he can play.
Yeah, I think with Zion back, I think that helps him a lot because that night he was I wouldn't say the focal point of the Mavs defense per se, but definitely the head of the snake on offense. And, much like Coop trying to play point guard, Trey Murphy is not a point guard.
Right.
So, asking him to make plays and break down the defense and stuff is just completely goes against his skill set. Now with Zion kind of being this point forward thing, then he can just sort of float around the perimeter, look for open space to either drive into or spot up in. And he has had some really big games against the Mavs in the past.
For sure. And the Mavericks are obviously going to have their hands full tonight. With the Pelicans team, record-wise, is not very good, but does have some very good players, including Herb Jones, who's one of the best defensive players in the league today. Mavericks going to be led by Cooper Flagg, who is back tonight after missing Wednesday's game with illness, averaging nearly 16 points per game and over 6 rebounds per contest. P.J. Washington averaging over 14 points per game and giving you 7.7 rebounds per contest as well. Pelicans one of the worst teams when you look at their statistical profile across a number of areas. Last at points per game, 4th worst field goal percentage, 8th worst at three-point percentage, and 7th worst when it comes to free throw percentage, which gets them to an offensive rating of 4th worst in the league today. Defensively, not much better. 3rd worst defensive rating overall in the NBA. The second,
they're not that bad. They're not that bad.
They're not not 2-13 bad.
I refuse to believe that they're worse than the West bad. Don't go back and check my preseason rankings, but I think I had them 13th or maybe 12th. They should be better than this. Maybe I had them 14th. No comment.
Well, maybe they'll showcase that off tonight.
I hope not.
I'm saying, are you sure?
It would be, dude. It would. Even if you're captain of the team tank, you're the one that's actually driving.
You feel like both of these games over the next couple nights are gettable.
Well, gettable, but also just imagine how gross it would feel to lose to them twice.
Yeah, in your own
it
building.
would just it would suck, man. That would just be brutal.
And of course, this is the final of the 2 matchups in Dallas tonight. The next time these 2 teams will get together will be in New Orleans on December 22nd, which just happens to be my birthday.
So there you go. Happy birthday.
Thanks. A month early. Thank you. I appreciate that.
Got any big plans?
I'll be right here working with you.
No, you won't.
You're not supposed to dox.
Don't lie.
Okay, we'll see. Coming up in just a moment, we'll see our DLLS Mavs beat writer Ron Harrod Jr. live from the American Airlines Center to let us know what Jason Kidd had to say prior to today's game, and also get our Mavericks player spotlight focusing in on Max Christie. Before we get there, though, let's help you win some money tonight when it comes to Prize Picks.
Well, I'm going to try and help you win money on Prize Picks tonight, and here's the deal. It's Friday. I got a fresh cut Friday. It's a fun Friday, but also on Prize Picks, they got Flex Play Friday.
Oh, okay. Fresh cut Friday, Flex Play Friday. I like what's
there's
going
a payout
on
boost if you do the Flex Play, and the Flex Play is you can get one pick wrong and still take home money, and with the 40% boost, you're still like almost coming out with a profit if you do that. I'm not doing that because I want to live on the edge tonight. All right, because it's the weekend. I'm trying to have some fun.
Then. Let's go.
Derek Queen, more than 22.5 points plus rebounds plus assists.
Okay.
I think he's a stat sheet stuffer. Max Christie, more than 1.5 3-pointers made. Najee Marshall, more than 14.5 points plus rebounds plus assists. None of these are particularly ambitious, Kevin. Zion, more than 17.5 points. That one kind of is because
that might be.
He doesn't play a lot of minutes. But if all of those things happen, my $5 play would net me 16 buckaroos.
Okay.
If you want to play along, download Prize Picks, use promo code DLLS. Whenever you place a $5 lineup, you will be granted $50 to your account right away. No questions asked. So download Prize Picks because it is good to be right.
I wish, Sheldon, I would be at a wrestling event on my birthday. That would be really cool. You could be finding me in New Orleans because the Mavericks play the Pelicans in New Orleans. New Orleans is not a bad place to be on your birthday, so who knows?
Oh, wow.
Maverick starters, shout out to Luke Byrne, 1277. Luke with the Maverick starters. Brandon Williams, Max Christie, Cooper Flagg, PJ Washington.
Oh, it's Gaff.
Daniel Gafford, your starting five. So Lively going to be coming off the bench. He's on a 15 to 18-minute restriction, which we'll get more into here in just a moment.
Does it make sense? Because you don't really want Lively guarding Zion, do you? I mean, that Zion it does not weigh as much, but he still generates a lot of force going to the rim, and that's a lot of contact to put your injured big.
For sure.
Situation to expose him in.
A lot of former Duke Blue Devils in tonight's game. Derek Lively, Zion Williamson, Cooper Flagg. A lot of Duke Blue Devils in tonight's game. Let's go out to the American Airlines Center right now and welcome in our DLLS Mavs beat writer, Ron Harrod Jr. He knows sports. You can find him on X at Ron Knows Sports. Ron, what's going on?
Doing pretty good. I'm about talking to some people at the stadium, and they said that they took a screenshot of the video me and KG took earlier, and they said we looked like father and son. So I'm just here to report that.
Jeez.
I guess my hair braided is more of my face.
You do look really young in like a good way, but like you do look really young.
I would like to
Kevin, you don't look old.
I'll say thank you.
You don't look like you could be his dad.
I appreciate that. I try to fashion myself as like a big brother of sorts.
Yes, big brother or something.
Yeah, it's my guy, Ron.
You don't look a day over 37.
That's sweet of you. I appreciate that. I'll be 39 next month.
Oh, well, perfect.
I appreciate that.
That was a really lucky guess.
I was kind of interested to see where you're going to go with that. Let's let you know who's in and who's out tonight as the Mavericks take on the New Orleans Pelicans. We'll start with the visiting Pelicans tonight. Jordan Poole, he is out tonight with the left quad strain. DeJounte Murray continues to remain out as he recovers from his right Achilles rupture. Meanwhile, Anthony Davis will miss his 12th straight game tonight with the left calf strain and also illness. Jason Kidd made it a point to mention he's also dealing with illness, so he's out for tonight. We'll come back to Dante Exum here in a second after the news we got yesterday about him. Kyrie Irving is out tonight. Ryan Nembhard remains out with the left knee sprain. And D'Angelo Russell popped up on the injury report today with an illness. He is going to be out for tonight, which means, Ron, the Mavericks have, check this out, one true point guard available tonight on the roster in the form of starting point guard Brandon Williams.
Yeah, I mean, that might, sadly, Mavs fans, that might mean Point Flagg is back in the second unit. I'm here to say, it's possible. Who else do they go to?
Najee?
Thompson? Oh, Point Najee tonight.
Point Clay, let's go. Come on, why not? Come on, it's Friday. Let's have some fun.
Point Clay, no, sir. No, yeah, we can't have Point Clay, but Point Najee would be fun. I actually think Najee Marshall actually does pretty good, like pick and roll situations. Usually he's the roller in light situations, but he's shown the ability to make some fun reads. Why not? Let's get funky in that second unit whenever B-Will's out. Also with just the Mavericks, I mean, you kind of hope one B-Will stays out of foul trouble. Two, you kind of have to hope that he starts playing well, because if he isn't, you kind of can't bench him in these type of games. It should be fun. And Jeremiah Fears is talking to some Pelicans reporters earlier. I mean, he's just as fast as advertised, like one of the fastest players in the league. Should be a good matchup.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's tough too. I mean, I don't know what D'Lo's situation is like. A couple guys missed the game the other night with illness, and Coop is back, so maybe it's just like a little stomach bug or something going around. But the Mavs do play again in 24 hours.
That's right.
And so to go 2 games in a row, for as much grief as we give D'Lo, to go 2 games in a row with only 1 point guard would be really, really tough. So they do need him to get back out on the floor as soon as possible. And hopefully that no one else gets sick. Remember last year, everyone got sick. Najee missed like 3 years.
That was insane. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
That was one of the more underlying storylines that kind of got overshadowed by, that whole one trade that happened that one time. A whole bunch of dudes kept getting sick, and Najee kept getting sick a lot last year. That was kind of during the early portion of the year. Everybody was sick after February 1st, but that's for a different reason. The other point guard that could have been available at some point during the season, we found out yesterday will not be ready to play at all this upcoming or during this season. That's because Dante Exum is going to be out for the remainder of the 25-26 season as announced by the team. He's going to require a follow-up surgery. Check this out. To a knee surgery that he had earlier this summer that previously was not disclosed or reported. Now, to be fair, during the summer, teams are not required to disclose injury information with respect to a player. But Dante Exum, who was not cleared at all during training camp, had been on the injury report with this right knee management. We've come to find out now that he had an earlier procedure this summer and now is going to have a follow-up due to complications to that knee surgery. So no Dante Exum for the 25-26 season, which you had a tweet yesterday, Bobby, that was a hell of a tweet that kind of got me a little sad given the financial situation, the gymnastics that the Mavericks created in order to get Dante Exum on the roster this year.
Yeah, I talked about it over the summer too. I mean, because going into free agency, we were talking about, okay, Kyrie, and if they want to have any exceptions, Kyrie has to take a pay cut. And the reason why is they're going to be hard capped at the apron, and the reason why they're going to almost be hard capped even before the Kyrie extension is because they're paying so many guys so much money. Like Caleb Martin is like the team's 12th or 13th man. He makes $9.5 million. Dwight Powell, even without the bigs right now, is basically catching DNPs. He makes $4 million. Dante, $3 million. Granted, only 2.5 counts against the cap. But Jaden Hardy, another guy that barely plays, he's making $6 million. They're spending $20 million on guys 11 through 15 on their roster right now, or 12 through 15, whatever it is. And that's really tough, man. That's really tough because they cannot replace Dante unless they stretch and waive him, but they already stretched and waived Omax to sign Dante. They can't replace Dante until January. They can't sign anyone until January to a 10-day deal, and it would be a little longer than that if they want to sign someone to a rest of season contract. So they're going to be stuck with these guys for a while.
Yeah, go ahead,
Well,
Ron.
dang, Bobby, that was sad.
I told you it was sad. When I read it yesterday, I was
Good
like, oh, my
God.
God.
I'm
mean,
sorry. I talked about this on the
Bobby,
show
you did.
4
Down
months ago,
for
5
you.
months ago, and the team did not do anything about it.
I mean, it's definitely a sad situation with Dante Exum because I've been to be, I think this is 2 months now, and there was really no update ever since a lot of reporters kept asking about it. I don't even think the report said exactly what type of knee surgery, like is it a torn, meniscus, or there's just no indication to my knowledge on even what the recovery is from. It says like, he had to find out he had to get surgery again to kind of repair, his knee. I saw him, I think it was this morning. He seemed to be in bright spirits, just, laughing with some of the players. And Dwight Powell usually does like this thing. He like stands on the rim while they're doing half court shots. And he like hits it with his shoulder. And then Dante stepped in there for him for a second, and he was hitting the ball with his shoulder. So at least
He wants to get hurt that next.
No. I'm just saying, in the passing of a Cowboys player, this could be a tough time mental health wise for a player. You kind of think you're going to play, and then next thing you know, you're out for the season. You don't get to touch a basketball, and at least Dante Exum seems to at least be showing, mentally he's in a good place.
You will be happy to know, Bobby, that the president, Dwight Powell, made not 1 but 2 half-court shots today during shoot-around. So
Huge.
He was on fire from mid-court range today. Let's get to our Mavericks player spotlight and focus in on a guy who's been shooting the ball extremely well so far this year, and that's Max Christie. Max Christie so far this year has been lights out from the three-point line, shooting 46% from three and 56% from the corners from three so far this year, going 3 of 6 from downtown on Wednesday to finish with 15 points. He has been spectacular with his three-point shooting, one of the biggest bright spots for this team this year. We had a chance to talk with Max before tonight's game during shooting round. I asked him about what has gone into his hot shooting start and the development for him and how he's been playing so far. Here is what Max had to say.
I think just sticking with the process and doing the little things every single day, trying to be the best version of myself. Not trying to make the big leap all in one game, but just continuing to keep things simple, continuing to be aggressive when I have the ball, and when adversity hits, continuing to move through that, continue to have confidence through it, and I think that's all I can control. So.
And Ron, he has been playing extremely well, and the confidence continues to grow game by game for him as he's been shooting the ball the way that he has so far this year.
Yeah, a big thing with Max Christie is he said earlier in the season is that Jason Kidd has told him, we need you to shoot the ball. This is kind of one of the first times in his career that he's had the green light. Like, they want him to essentially get up as many three-point shots as he can, him and Klay Thompson, of course, just because they need the floor spacing from one of their best, two-way players. So Max Christie, I've seen him start off slow in the last couple of games, but guess what he did? He kept shooting, and eventually by the second half, he kind of has got himself into some of that confidence. I think he's just gotten that push from the coaching staff, like, hey, you're going to be good. Just take the shots. If you miss, it's okay. Keep shooting. And he's done that. And as we've seen, he's one of the best movement shooters in the NBA.
And has done so to the tune of becoming one of the better three-point shooters so far through the first 15 games of the season across the association. They're going to need a lot more of that as the rest of the season goes on. But Max Christie filling it up from the three-point line, I should say, so far this year. That gets us to our X Factors going into tonight's game. Bobby, I'll start with you on this one. You're a basketball purist, so you'll appreciate this one. The Mavericks got to do
basketball.
The Mavericks got to do the little things, which includes making free throws. As I was doing my research today, I was going through some statistics and found out as this went on, Dallas has the second worst free throw percentage in the NBA at just 74% this season. The only team worse from the line this year is Bobby's Bucks of Milwaukee, shooting 70% from the line. But so far, the Mavericks not shooting well from the free throw line.
I do not claim the Bucks anymore. I just want to make that loud and clear.
Okay.
All right. I am a certified Bucks hater. Yeah, the Mavs were last year. They were a bad free throw team, or was it the year before? I don't remember. They've struggled from the line for a while. And if you think about it, like, okay, in previous versions of the team, the guys shooting free throws were Luka and Gafford and Lively, and all three of those guys are at the time were below average free throw shooters. This year, the Mavs have a lot more wings and you would think a lot more skill, but like PJ struggles from the line. Najee sometimes struggles from the line. D'Lo has even gone 0 for 2 at points, and like D'Lo's a good free throw shooter.
Cooper's come back down to earth from the free throw line after a perfect start.
Their offense is not good enough to leave those points just hanging out there. You need if they scored 1 or 2 extra points on the free throw line per game, they would have 2 or 3 more wins this year.
They might have beat the Knicks the other night as well. Given some
if the Knicks would have made 1 free throw, they would have won by 40.
That's very true. Ron, I'll get to you on this one for the second one. You can't give up easy points to the Pelicans off turnovers. This is the Pelicans team who doesn't do a lot of things well. One of the few things they do okay is that they're 12th in the NBA, scoring nearly 20 points per game off opponents' turnovers. Cannot give the ball away, period, but especially against a team like the Pelicans who struggle to come by for points. But do so off of opponents' turnovers this year.
Yeah, I mean, the Pelicans are one of the few teams in the NBA where, like, literally anyone can grab the ball off of the rim and run the fast break. And then normally if Herb Jones and Trey Burke are on the court, they both run to the different points of the arc. They're spacing the floor. You have Zion, you have Jeremiah Fears that are some of the fastest, and in Zion's case, is one of the most explosive players in the NBA with the balls in their hand. And if you decide to commit to Zion, then he kicks out to Trey Murphy, Herb Jones, those kind of players. And if not, he just goes all the way. So they provide a lot of just problems while running. So you can't just give the ball away to them. Sadly, as we all know, the Mavs do turn the ball over a lot in this league. They also miss a lot of three-point shots, and three-point shots misses usually equal long rebounds, which technically not a fast break, but has some fast break-like traits. They're going to have to make some threes, and they're going to have to make sure they're keeping the ball. It's actually pretty sad that Ron Nembhard can't play in this game because of his injury, because they could really use him tonight.
Last one here before we get out of here, and the Mavs got to execute down the stretch. This game is close. The Pelicans game, of course, was close. Cooper Flagg had a chance to tie the game at 1-on-1 with 4 seconds left, missed the jumper, and the Mavericks weren't able to clear 100 in that game. Unfortunately, this team has not been good in the clutch this year. They got to find a way to execute down the stretch if this is close. Otherwise, they could find themselves on the business end of a second loss to the Pelicans at the AAC.
It's cursed words. Just
Oof.
Ugh. Look, we don't say must win a lot, but these two games, like,
these are shame games.
yeah, you
Have some shame.
Have some,
Hate these guys.
because if you don't,
Pelicans can't eat a horse.
Rob, we'll talk to you post game, my guy. Thank you so much.
Bye,
for
Ron.
All right, everybody.
Can't eat a horse? Are you
They
serious?
can't. They got big beaks and big mouths and big gullets, but they cannot fit a horse in there. If a pelican attacks you, put your hoof down its throat, and it's gonna. Well, never mind. That's
Doing a lot. Relax.
that's gonna violate TOS.
What are you
Just
doing?
beat them back, man. This is a big dumb bird. Pelicans are dumb. Go beat them.
We love you, Tanner. Thank you for putting up with our shenanigans. Thank you so much. He always.
Do I have a
does.
choice?
No, you don't actually. You don't. That's going to do it for us here on the DLLS Mavs pregame show. We'll be back here for our postgame show about 10, 12 minutes after the final buzzer. Our DLLS Mavs beat writer Ron Herbard Jr. and our National NBA insider Mark Stein will be joining us as well to recap tonight's game. That's our DLLS Mavs analyst Bobby Curl. I'm your host, Kevin Gray. We are DLLS Mavs. We'll talk to you postgame right here on DLLS Sports. Y'all be good. Peace.
We all silly like the mayor.